When the president joins us, we will start by asking him about last night's 79th annual Al Smith dinner in New York City, 6 blocks away. He stole the show and was the feature, as Vice President Kamala Harris was not there, but Ainsley and I were...
Well, you were on the dais.
Oh, I let that slip.
Yeah, you were up there. You were very special. Mm-hmm. And Judge Jeanine was there. Suzanne Scott, our CEO. Jay Wallace was there.
Bill Hemmer.
Bill Hemmer was there. Martha McCallum was on the dais, and so was Maria Bartiromo. Lauren Green was there.
It was a big night.
Great.
You know, since 1960, it has been a tradition for both presidential candidates to attend the dinner and kind of politely roast each other. But Vice President Kamala Harris is the first presidential candidate since 1984 to be invited and not attend.
It's kind of unbelievable. So Harris instead held an event in the battleground state of Wisconsin. Trump joked about her missing the big event, though.
The Catholic Church helping the poor, educating children, and supporting the vulnerable. But if you really wanted Vice President Harris to accept your invitation, I guess you should have told her the funds were going to bail out the looters and rioters in Minneapolis, and she would have been here, guaranteed she would have been here. It's a true pleasure to be with you this evening, amazing pleasure. And these days it's really a pleasure anywhere in New York without a subpoena for my appearance. Anytime I don't get a subpoena, I'm very happy. As I look around the dais, I see all of the usual suspects. For instance, Mayor Adams. I'd like to poke some fun at Eric, but I'm going to be nice. I just want to be nice because I know what it's like to be persecuted by the DOJ for speaking out against open borders. We were persecuted, Eric. I was persecuted, and so are you, Eric. Unfortunately, Governor Walz isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. But I have to be careful, however, to understand that this will be the first time in the history of this event where jokes will be fact-checked. All polls are indicating I'm leading big with the Catholic vote, as I should be, But I don't think Kamala has given up yet. She hasn't. Instead of attending tonight, she's in Michigan receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer.
Yes, as timely as today's headlines.
Yeah, when she actually apologized for that. That was a big disaster. But the takeaway was, number one, everybody wanted to be there. They were pumped up for it. Thought the room was fantastic. And when you have a comedian like Jim Gaffigan, maybe the top 5 comedian in the country, as a host, and he's a big Catholic guy. He plays a huge role in the church. I mean, him and, I almost said Admiral, Cardinal Dolan are really tight. And then you got the most powerful senator, happens to be a New Yorker, right there. And then you got the former president right there. And then you have 3 NFL owners, the commissioner, and then I think it was just really powerful day.
Ainsley, you were there too. I'm curious, what was the reception like for Donald Trump, and were people upset that Kamala wasn't there?
People were surprised that she wasn't there. And when you're in a room full of Catholics, and these are Catholics that are, changing the world, you have so many people sitting on that dais, including Brian. There's Brian. Oh, well, I saw Brian on the dais, so I said, Laura Trump came up. And Brian didn't know I was going to be there because I was asked to go the day before. So Laura comes over to my table, and when we started talking, I said, come with me. We have to go say hey to Brian. He doesn't know that we're here. So there were all these ropes, so you couldn't get to the holy people on the dais. Yeah. So we just stood in front of the ropes. We said, Brian! And he looked at us, and it was cute. We had a good time.
And ultimately, millions of dollars are raised for various Catholic charities, also to help put a lot of kids into the schools, the Catholic schools throughout the New York City area. So, it is a tradition. And we've been talking about this over the last couple of days. Kamala Harris missed a great opportunity because, we saw Donald Trump. He's standing there, and there's Chuck Schumer. He pats him on the back, says, you're doing a great job, stuff like that. This is the one night in New York City where people come together, they sit next to each other, they exchange pleasantries. It's kind of the way politics used to be. It's too bad she wasn't there because it would have showed a different side between the dynamic between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. But she didn't go.
Remember,
and it's too bad.
They paint him as the supervillain, and at events like this, anytime he's with people and he gets to interact with them on this level, it humanizes him. And it was a total win for him because she didn't even show up. And from what I hear, the video didn't do so well that she played.
Oh, it bombed.
It did bomb.
It bombed. No one said a word, and you couldn't believe what you were seeing because she actually tried to be funny in a skit.
Right.
It was not funny even when it was on SNL, in my view. And Catholics hate this character because it mocks Catholic kids in school. I know comedy's comedy, but why bring it back at a Catholic dinner?
Jim Gaffigan, he was really funny. He actually said something about you. What did he
We're
say?
include that in
We'll
this.
include it. You'll see it. But he also said, when he was talking about, he plays Tim Walz on SNL. So he said, Donald Trump said this about him. Most recently, Jim has been playing Tim Walz on SNL, and that'll be a very short gig.
He goes, it better be. He goes, it better be.
Yeah.
Here's a little of Jim Gaffigan.
Looking at this impressive dais of attendees up here, I never know how to address you people. Do you prefer, global elite or coastal elite? I know we live in sensitive times, and I don't want to mislabel anyone. You're all thinking about it. Let me just cut to the point and point out who's not here. And of course, I'm talking about the middle class. That filthy group of people. Right, Chuck? Do you know what I'm talking about? If I am too critical of Vice President Harris, I will, I will lose friendships and mess up my career. And if I am too critical of President Trump, I will lose friendships and improve my career. Do you know what I mean? The media has begun discussing the phenomena of secret Trump voters. I don't know if you've heard about this. People who publicly say they would never vote for Trump, but then when they go in the voting booth, they do. It's a small group. They're called the Biden family. President Biden couldn't be here tonight. The DNC made sure of that. That's $10 million is pretty impressive. You know what I mean? Granted, it could get you a studio apartment in Manhattan, which seems, expensive, especially considering you can get a mayor for 2 business class flights. Let's be honest, this entire room is filled with some of the most powerful people in New York City, and Brian Kilmeade. Remember Brian, I told you? Brian and I started doing stand-up together, so we're friends, hopefully.
Now that's funny.
What did you think of that?
It was good.
I was like, oh, it sounds like Gutfeld. I'm like,
Oh,
the same
yeah.
thing, yeah. I thought it was cool. I saw him before, and he said, oh, I'm referencing you. I hope it's okay. I'm like, do I have a choice?
Right.
So I thought he was kidding. But I think the whole thing was he wrote the jokes. He a lot of them up until the last minute. And I think the thing about Jim Gaffigan is he's clean.
Yeah.
So if you look at his comedy, it doesn't matter how
Just
old
funny.
you are. Yeah. He's just a funny guy.
But there was one groaner I read in the paper that kind of alluded to an inappropriate topic we will not talk about. But aside from that, it was a great show. And once again, going back to my original point, it's too bad she was not there. It was shown a side of the dynamic that would have given people a different opinion.
I mean, Steve, I'm sitting at this table and I'm like, wow, I'm so impressed. Martha's
Right there.
right behind the president.
Martha's right over his
Maria's
shoulder.
up there. They do so much for the Catholic Church. Brian's up there. I'm so proud of you, Brian. And then I see Ken Langone, who started Home Depot, who's been on the Kirby couch. I see Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL. I see Cardinal Dolan, who we all adore and love. Obviously, Trump and Melania. Robert Kraft, exactly. Woody Johnson was there. Chuck Schumer, even Letitia James was there. You see all the mayors. Bill de Blasio was the only one that was booed when he walked out. But Mayor Adams was there. And you just realize, my gosh, they have contributed so much to our country. It was such a missed opportunity for Kamala Harris. Why do you think she didn't go, Lawrence?
No, I just think that her team has this calculation that they're going to focus on other things, and the new traditional way of campaign is, it's going to these different events instead of the big ones.
Pretty good source told me that Hillary Clinton told her not to go, that Trump can be brutal. And that was the reason. I'd love to see her answer that question, because she blew off a lot of Catholics.
We've all been to this event. The whole point of it is they just roast each other. It's the one time you see during the whole election season where there's levity.
Right. And it's just a few weeks before the election, and that's why it's so consequential. That's why we ran it live last night. That is also why Donald Trump is in New York City, and, we don't see him much during the campaign. He's going to be live here. He's going to be in this studio within 45 minutes. He's going to be right here, live from the curvy couch. And we're going to include some of the questions that you all submitted. Yesterday, we did a solicitation. We said, if you take out your phone, make a video, short question, we will play a bunch of them.
Also, we've been doing these barbershop series.
Yeah.
Well, he went to a barbershop with me in the Bronx, and I can't wait for you to see the reaction.
Did he have did he get a haircut at the barbershop?
I can't report on that yet.
That's a good
We gotta wait to see.
When will we see it? I can't wait.
We're gonna see it a little bit in the show.
When he's here?
I'll tell you how good it is. So I walked up to him on the day, just said hello, and he said, I was with Lawrence in the Bronx. It's an unbelievable. He goes, did he tell you about it? And I actually said, yes, I saw you. And he goes, when is it going to be on? I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So he thinks it was
What did
great.
they say when he walked in the barbershop?
They were happy to see him.
They were?
They were happy to see him. And it wasn't just the people in the barbershop. The street.
Yeah.
Secret Service blocked it off as much as they had to call for reinforcement. I mean, that's never happened for a Republican.
What is it about the Bronx that's attractive? Because when he was there serving pizzas or something recently, and
you got
they loved him.
You got Latin and Afro-Latino voters that are frustrated with the state of the country, and they're giving them a shot.
Right. Well, and the Yankees.
The thing.
And Fox News, right.
And Bill Clinton actually has his presidential office up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right in that neighborhood. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.